Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. This is your 3-card pull where you get to choose one of these 3 cards in answering the question, should I stay and fight, or is it time to let go, release, and move on? And with each card, I give a very clear answer. Each card is yes or no. And then I also dive into what your very clear actions should be once you've decided to stay or decided to release it and move on. And this can be about a relationship. This could be about your career. This could be about a challenge you're having within your friends or your family. There's so many ways that we make this decision of do I give up or do I fight on every day? So whichever one comes to mind first, or whichever reason that you clicked on this video, then your answer sits within these cards. And so our first card is connected to this beautiful hydrangea flower. This is our card all the way to the left, card number 1, tied to this beautiful pink hydrangea. And my dog pulled this off the bush, otherwise I would not be wasting this beautiful flower because it is not fully bloomed yet. So we're putting it to good use and using it as an anchor for this card. Our second card, the middle card, is connected to this beautiful purple flower that's on a vine. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's on a vine in our front yard. And this is our flower for card number 2, for the middle card. And then we have this marigold flower for card number 3. The card all the way to the right, our third card, is connected to this beautiful yellow marigold. So whichever calls to your attention first, whichever seems the prettiest, whichever caught your attention when you first clicked on this video. And if you don't feel pulled to anyone in particular, then now is a good time to pause the video and take some time and realize, are you pulled? Does a number come to mind? 1, 2, or 3? Are you pulled in a certain direction, left, right, or center? Is there a color that comes to mind? Pink, purple, or yellow? And once that sits clearly in your mind, then that's the card for you. And then I have all the timestamps listed in the description so you can jump straight to your video. And then make sure that you click to the very end of this video because I have an opportunity for you all to get a little more insight. And if you just need some quick answers to yes or no questions, I'll pull 3 cards and they will be very concrete yes or no answers to 3 questions. It could be any questions that you have. So while you're listening to your reading, if you have questions about how to move forward or questions about something completely unrelated, sit with those 3 questions and then skip to the end of the video because you will find yes or no answers to these 3 questions that you have. All right, enjoy your reading. All right, group 1, welcome to your reading. This is the hydrangea flower here, which I'll just show again. The card all the way to the left, card number 1. Let's see what we have today. So we have the coyote. And the coyote represents trickery. It actually represents a lot of deception. The first thing I'm getting here for your question of should you stay and fight or should you let go and move on? Just will throw a lot more clarification cards, but just based off of our main card for today, the initial gut reaction is that it's time to move on. But let's see what else we have here for you. So we're going to throw a few of our anchor cards from our tarot deck. Let's just see what comes up. All right. So here we have the Wheel of Fortune. And what comes up always with the Wheel of Fortune for me is this: it's a turning point. There is significant change that is about to occur. And the main emphasis here is sometimes it can really seem like a shock. It can be the last thing you were expecting. It can represent like a 180-degree turn. Like I see this change. If you are to walk away, if you are to move on and release this, that it's almost like this is going to feel like the last thing you would have ever expected to do. It's going to surprise everyone. It's going to be a really abrupt change. And part of that is also solidified here in the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is all about education. It's about deep learning. It's about deeper understanding. Community is a big part of this. There's history here. It feels like whatever this is that you are about to walk away from, you have put time and effort into this. If this is a relationship, then it feels like you for a very long time thought that this was your person, thought that this was going to be who you would end up with. If this is a career that you're considering walking away from, then this is something that you have studied for possibly for your whole life. It seems like there's so much history here, and it is not a small deal that you are even considering walking away. But now when we look into the position of the Queen of Pentacles and what is represented here, and this is significant here that she is the only card that was thrown reverse, right? When we see a card in reverse, then we see that this is energy we are lacking. The Queen of Pentacles is like the ultimate grounding, comforting mother. She is like being embraced. She's like being welcomed into her home, feels like being given a big mama bear hug and handed a bowl of healing soup. She just feels so like she knows exactly what you need. She is so nurturing. And it seems like that is what you've been lacking within this. It seems like the fact that you haven't been able to receive that nurturing aspect of whatever this is that you're about to walk away from is significant, and you need that in your life. It's clear that that is what you are missing. All right. So this is a big change for you. And I want to, you know what? Let me see. Let's throw some action cards. Let's see what if we can get some more details here for you guys. Sometimes they just don't want to. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So the question we're asking now is why is this the time to walk away? Let's see. What are we missing? What are we missing? What are we missing in this? Okay. Okay. Oh, so let's see. You know what I'm going to do actually? Let me just make this a little easier for you all to see. We're going to put these a little bit like this. All right. So, wow, I'm really actually all of these. Well, these first two cards specifically are pulling me directly back to the Queen of Pentacles energy. It feels like you've been quieted. It feels like you've been fairly restricted in this world in this situation that you've been set up in. It really feels like while it's allowed you to thrive in certain ways, because I do feel like the reason you've stayed in this for so long is very concrete. It's clear that you were very logical about it. It doesn't feel like you were very emotional. It seems like you were very logical within this decision so far to stay and to fight for this. But you're missing community. You're missing freedom. There's nurturing here again that you're missing. And there's the fact that here, this make a feast. This energy is all about coming together with loved ones. This is all about um, cooking and eating food that nourishes you, that sits within your ancestry. And then we also have make some noise. Sing at the top of your lungs, play your music as loud as possible, bang on anything in your kitchen, make if there's there we release so much through sound, and it feels like you haven't been able to. There's restriction here. And with these, I want to, before we jump into this, because it answers a whole other question, I want to focus on these two cards here. Yeah, it does, it feels so rooted. Okay, let me just do one more. Yeah. So this is what needs to change, right? So here, if we take a look at the swan here, this tells us so much about what needs to change, the fact that transformation is coming, the fact that significant change is approaching. Now, these two cards support each other, but are also contradictory. The queen represents feminine energy, represents friendship, represents community, represents sisterhood, but also represents the action of receiving, represents being open to receiving nurturing, being open um, to finding love and to being free within community. The novice is the young energy of the queen. The novice is starting something new, starting something without any experience, starting something with, there's nerves and there's a bit of anxiety here, but there's also just a deep sense where you're craving learning, um, you're craving this new experience. And while you are going in completely raw and innocent, there's freedom there as well, because with the innocence comes so many opportunities. And so what I'm really being pulled towards here, when I look at what you're lacking in your current situation, it really feels like you're lacking joy in the simplest sense. You're lacking freedom. You're lacking your inner wild woman. you're lacking, you feel really restrained. And it feels like you've been quietly yearning for this change for a long time now. Because again, this really feels like a situation that you've been in for a long time. And I can't, I mean, this, if we go back to the Wheel of Fortune energy, the fact that this is even a video that you clicked on today feels like a big risk. It feels like the fact that you're even starting to consider walking away is a really big deal. If this is about a relationship, it feels like you could be engaged. It feels like there may be children involved. It feels like um, could be like a high school sweetheart. There's so much history here, and it feels, rather than that history feeling like it's grounding you, or it is allowing you to have purpose within this relationship, that history feels like pressure. It feels restraining again. Like that word just keeps coming up. Like I'm feeling like you feel like there's no way out. And what is clear is there is one direct path that will take you out of this. There's one direct path that will clearly pull you into your future. Because the reality of what's next is all of this is waiting for you, right? This Queen of Pentacles energy is waiting for you beyond this transition. She will be there to welcome you with open arms. And we'll focus on what the actions are within your next moves in a moment. But before we go into that, I want to take a moment and acknowledge this very clear message here. It says, don't blame others for your feelings. And the important message that comes with this card is one tied to accountability, but it's also an invitation for reflection because you have allowed yourself to stay in this situation. It doesn't feel like this is necessarily, I'm not picking up on that much trauma in this situation, which makes this decision to leave even harder in a sense, because your desire to move on is so much more centered around your own needs, your own needs to have this freedom. Your own needs to have this freedom. This feels very connected to you yearning for that community. And it can be so hard to make that decision around simply what you personally need in order to thrive. But what I want to focus on here, and we'll throw a few more. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. It seems like there may have been a bit of denial within this, because here's what I'm picking up on. It feels like you've been what's the word? Like deferring the reasoning behind these feelings off to others. You've been really saying, "Oh, well, maybe this will change when this other person um grows up." Or maybe with this promotion, it won't feel this way in my career forever, right? Or it's only this hard because I have to work with this person right now, right? So if you are working within, if this is about your career and if you should experience a job change, then what is coming up here is it really seems like you've been just sitting and waiting and putting up with this stifled environment, with this restricted environment, just kind of passively waiting for others to make it better for you. And so while that is a valid expectation in a sense, sometimes it does happen that way. It's clear that you are the one that needs to bring this future into your own life. This future that where you have all of this freedom, I see you surrounded by feminine power. I see you surrounded by incredibly wise women. It really feels like this sense of community is it's just at the center of your world in the future. That change will only come once you have stopped blaming others for being in this situation and let go of waiting for somebody else to come and save you. That's a hard one. Because I know you are tired of feeling strong. I know you are tired of feeling like you're carrying all of this on your back. But once you let go of that hope that someone else is going to show up, yeah, once you let go of that hope, because while it may seem like it is that hope that will carry you forward, it truly is a burden. It truly is a burden that is just weighing you down, this hope that someone else will come and change your life for you, because this is all, you are in complete control. You are in complete control to make this change. You really are. And that is what is so empowering about this, is because once you've released this energy, where you're blaming others for being in the situation, where you are expecting somebody else to come and save you, where you are just waiting for your life to change. Once you've released all of that, then this will flow. then the way you feel so restrained right now, like there's no way out, once you release everything here, it will open and you will all of a sudden see all of the paths in front of you. Okay. So since the answer here is that we are not going to stay and fight, we are going to move on and seek what is next. Let's take a look at what your next steps are. Let's see what your next steps are. Because here's the challenge with all of this, right? The coyote here that we started with, that represents trickery and deception. It's not that you were on this path or in this experience without reason. There are lessons that you learned through this. There are moments that you will cherish forever, whether it's a relationship or a career or a problem that you've been worrying about. It is clear that you are not going to regret this experience that you had. And it almost seems like something that's coming to mind here, because part of, with the coyote and with the trickery that's involved in it, something that does always come up with this message with this card specifically is the idea of it's so appealing to stay. There's shiny aspects here. It's really superficial and appealing and comforting in that sense. But the truth behind it is simply superficial. It is simply this shiny thing that provides like visual satisfaction, but doesn't have that depth. And so don't be tempted by that, but also don't beat yourself up for not seeing this sooner. And I just caught myself glancing at the bottom of the deck, which means that we need to take a look at this card. And right now we are looking at what your next steps are. So I'm just going to throw one more. All right. Well, the Six of Cups and the Four of Pentacles both invite change as well. All right. Let's ask for a bit more clarification for your next steps. Let's see what your actions are going to be moving forward. All right. I'll do one with each of these. All right. All right. We'll just do one more. Oh, sometimes they just get a little stubborn. There we go. Ooh, they are just sticky right now. All right. All right. I feel like the whole half of the deck wants to come out and talk to you right now. All right, let's see. Okay, let's do one more. Yeah. There we go. All right. So let's take a look here first. We have the Six of Cups. I don't read these ones reversed, so we'll just leave this. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. We have the Water Fairy reversed. And we have the Stag. All right. Over here, we have the Four of Pentacles. We have let yourself rage, howl, and wail. We have partnership and fear. All right. So the question we just asked is, what are your next actions? How are you shifting into this change once you have walked away, once you have said goodbye? So the Six of Cups is all about embracing the innocence of a child. This makes me think of the novice actually card that we were just talking about. It always has that same energy for me. There's curiosity, there's patience within the Six of Cups. This is not a rushed experience. Think about a child playing in a field, right? There's they don't look rushed or hurried. They're simply playing with flowers and playing with the cups. And notice that cups always represent emotions as well. So be playful with your emotions in a sense. Don't sit in how heavy all of this could be. Think of just experiencing your feelings, and that's what all of this energy is so much about. Emotions and feelings and the fluidity that we can experience. And what we don't realize is that water is inherently grounding as well. And so if our feelings or emotions feel like they are overwhelming and taking over and spiraling in that sense, you can simply fall into them within the context of connecting with water, connecting with that grounding energy that comes with water. And rather than, I guess, falling all the way in and submerging yourself within these emotions, think of yourself as being in a river. When you fall into your emotions, think of it as being with a river that's flowing peacefully. And just participate, participate in, again, you guys, the energy is just shooting off everywhere right now. This is a big change for you. This normally means that there's really significant shifts happening. And what's coming up with this is in this change, you need to be grounded within your feelings. So have the innocence and the joy that comes with going back to um, that playful innocence and that fun. But there needs to be some structure, some leadership here. The stag is all about leadership, and it's also about your ego. It's also about acknowledging that if you're starting something brand new that you have no experience in, you will need to have your ego in check. You will need to have you will need to walk into it with humility. And I love this message is so clear here. Listen with your heart, not just your ears. This is such a beautiful invitation to make sure that you are experiencing all of this playfulness, all of these emotions, truly from a grounded, centered space where you are listening to what will actually make you feel so fulfilled, loved, nurtured. Think back to that Queen of Pentacles energy. How will you feel that warm embrace in your future? How are you bringing that back into your life? Because think back to what we were talking about. No one's going to come make this happen for you. This is something that you need, and that's when we're going into our action here. But right now, this is almost like your daydreaming area. This is your brainstorming. If this has to do with your career, you are needing to take a moment and sit before you take action. You need to sit and listen and experience all of your emotions, brainstorm these ideas, get creative, and really daydream about what that beautiful future where you feel so fulfilled could look like and could feel like. And have it in a daydream in a light way. Have fun with it. Approach it with the innocence of a child when you used to daydream about what your future life could be like, when you used to be so excited to be an adult, right? Before you realize that being an adult is hard. If this is a relationship that you've walked away from, then this is all about coming back to yourself. This is all about reconnecting with your feelings and thinking about what have I been stifling within this relationship that now can flow free, right? Think about our previous invitation that we had with the cards we were just looking at, where make some noise, right? Have a feast. Who have you not connected with because of this relationship? What are the foods and the music that you weren't eating or listening to because of this relationship? How can you go back to things that you loved before this relationship? Because again, this connection feels like it is so old. You may have been a child the last time you were single. So allow that playfulness to be a part of this next step before you go into another relationship. If another romantic connection shows up, slow it down a little bit. It's not that that person that's showing up isn't your person, but take some time to reconnect here and have fun here before you launch into a connection with somebody else. And the other more intense, serious layer of your next steps here sits within the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles is all about ego. It's all about being too attached to material things. It's about greed. It's about, there's heaviness here, right? I mean, just look at the way that she's examining the coin, right? She's worried about losing it, right? So it feels like when it also is really about materialistic things. And if you are walking away from a job, this is also very practical, the invitation here. So make sure that you are getting that severance pay, make sure that you have your money in line, make sure that maybe if you're selling a business, make sure that you are taking your time to get that really good deal. If it's something as big as this, then make sure that the money lines up with the work that you've put into it. Don't rush into this invitation to walk away just to get out of it, because there are things here that you should not let go of. Because being possessive and being materialistic can have its flaws, but it's also an important skill if used the right way. And that's what the Four of Pentacles reminds us of. And that's what I'm seeing here is if the end of this partnership, if it is if this is divorce, if this is walking away in that sense, then make sure that you are taking your time going through that paperwork and really making sure that you're being conscious and you're accepting help when it comes to that. And this all feels very structured, and I recognize that there is valid fear here around the process of walking away. And part of an important aspect here that is going to help balance out the intensity is this invitation right here. Let yourself rage, howl, and wail. It is okay to mourn in this change. This is also going to very well balance out the beautiful playfulness and excited energy that you have moving forward into this new freedom, because you were so restricted in this previous world. This new freedom is major. It's okay to do both. It is okay to be so excited and daydream about what your future could look like while also mourning what no longer will be. It is okay to do both because you need that balance. That's what's really coming through for me here, is you need that balance. So make sure that all of the money and all of the paperwork and everything is in order. Don't rush through that process. That's what these cards are indicating here. And then also make sure you're taking that time to truly mourn this very big part of your life that you're saying goodbye to. All right. I hope that that you are in a space where you're able to receive this well. Good luck with this big change coming up. And I hope you are able to really allow yourself to sit within these two duality energies, because it seems like this is the key to you finding peace and success in this change. All right. Make sure that you click to the very end of this video, because I'll pull 3 cards and they will be very concrete yes or no answers to 3 questions. It could be any questions that you have. Sit with those 3 questions and then skip to the end of the video, because you will find yes or no answers to these 3 questions that you have. All right. Hello, group 2. This is our beautiful purple flower from my vine outside. The second card, the card at the center. And for our question today, we are asking, should we continue to fight and stay, or is it time to move on and let go? And our anchor card today is the Ghost Dance. And let's throw a few more clarification cards. The Ghost Dance is not a yes or no card. It could mean if something clearly needs to change. If you stay, new things you need to establish some ground rules. but it also could be time to go. So let's check in with our tarot and see what stay or go. All right. So we have the Nine of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. All right. Wow. I feel that you've been sitting on this decision for a long time. Let's start by taking a look at the Ghost Dance. So the Ghost Dance is a beautiful invitation to look inward and to partner with your guides, to partner with this very deep wisdom that sits within you. And there is interaction that is needed. There is lessons that are meant to be learned. It is not normally, it often indicates a challenging path and that there are significant lessons that need to be learned here, but you also need to make sure that you're going into this very present and aware of these challenges and the opportunities that sit within it. So the first thing that is coming to mind with the Ghost Dance as your anchor card, and also with the tarot that we've thrown so far, is that if you stay, it is going to be challenging and things need to change, but that it will be worth the fight. And so let's just take this piece by piece for a moment. The Nine of Swords indicates that you have a deep anguish that is happening, that it feels like you have been wrestling over this decision to stay or to go for a very long time. And the person in the Nine of Swords is always in bed. It always represents that these are the kind of emotions and worry that bubbles up in the middle of the night. Normally when we're the most quiet or when we're alone, these feelings can come up and can haunt us in a sense. And the invitation that always comes with the Nine of Swords is to evaluate the fact that this is simply something that you actually do have control over, but is a real issue that you need to address. And when we have it reversed here, it feels like you are in denial in a sense of how significant this anguish is. It seems like these emotions have been coming up and this worry has been coming up, and you've had moments of being able to wrestle with it, but you aren't addressing the fact that action needs to happen. It feels like you've been avoiding this action for a while. And when we look at the Five of Pentacles, this signifies that there are struggles within your material world. You may be having financial issues connected to this decision. It feels like you may be in a really tough position around how to move forward. If you stay, certainly things need to change when it comes to money and material things. And if you go, it's like you'll be starting over entirely, and that's that risk there. And it is something that is there's a reason you've not made this decision yet, because it is a big decision that you have to make. So then when we look at the Page of Swords, given this context, the Page of Swords indicates that there is a very clear challenge approaching that you're not very interested in. That is like the energy that's always with the Page of Swords is like, thanks, but no thanks. I don't really want to go into this. And so it's almost like you're aware of the struggle ahead with staying. But the truth behind it is, it is worth your time. It is worth your time to fight for this. And it seems like what's coming forward for me here, especially with the Page of Swords is reversed, is it's like you're aware of the fact that this challenge is here. And it's not that you're in denial of it, it's that you may not actually have that action, that ability to take action yet. And that's what feels like is changing. So with this challenge that you have right now, the answer for this reading group too is stay. The answer is to stay and to fight, but it will be a fight. And let's take a look and see if we can get some more clarification around what this fight will be and what, because what's okay. Let's see, because I want you all to have some very clear action here that you can take. And so let's ask, like, why, where's the challenge? Like, where is the, let me come up with a very clear question here. Why, you know what? Let's focus on the Five of Pentacles here for a moment. Let's focus here. What are the material things, the very concrete things in life that have made this particularly like a standstill right now? Okay. Let's just focus on the Five of Pentacles. Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So what's really coming forward here when we take, let's do, yeah. All right. So it seems like with this, there has been a really significant change. The truth here is that there has already been a very significant transition. It's almost like you were promised a promotion, you were promised this move that you were going to like this new apartment or this new house that you were going to move into would be perfect, would be that the answer to all your questions, your financially would be better. It's like whatever you were promised, there was deception. And so this change that has recently happened for you within work, within love, within your home, those are the three that are coming forward, um, didn't come out to be like what you were hoping for or what you were told it would be. There is absolutely deception that was at play here. And it's like it promised everything. It promised that this is the path you were supposed to be on, but it's falling short. And so this change that, because death, when we look at death, right? When we look at this card, it always talks about transition. And so many people get focused on death as this scary ending. But the reality here is with death is new life. With death is new a beginning. It's always comes with a new beginning. And so what I'm seeing here with death reversed paired with all of this is that you were so hopeful about this transition, this change that was coming up, and it is falling short. And so now you're sitting here saying, what action can I take? What do I do? It feels like you are financially struggling more than you have before. This is a new experience for you, of this level of struggle. And the it feels like you haven't been in control or in power. This really feels like all of this is happening to you, and that is valid. Sometimes when that feeling comes up, it's you're in denial and not taking accountability for the actions that you've taken. But this definitely feels like this has happened to you. And so with our action here of what we are capable of doing is you need to process through this situation that you've been struggling in, and that this really unfortunate situation, and release it. Right, you need to process through it, let it go and move on, because you have this challenge that is coming up that is worth your time. And so how all of this ties into this decision that you're making right now of, do I stay or do I go? Do I continue to fight through, or do I let this go and release it? Release the emotional baggage to this challenge that you have been dealt within this most recent transition. And take a look at the current situation where you're trying to figure out stay or go. The answer is stay. It's going to be challenging. You're not out of the woods yet. It is going to be challenging. But the answer is that you It is worth your time. There are things to learn here. And that explains our energy around the Five of Pentacles. With this decision that you're making. Oh, there we go. We got cards flying out. Okay. I know. Okay. It really seems like you may feel like you're not. We get that same one again. Okay. We need to let go of this energy. This is what's restricting you. Because what's really coming forward here is that it seems like you are in denial of the amount of power you actually have in this situation. That's what needs to be addressed. Is you need to partner with the inner wisdom that you have, and you need to partner with this spiritual side of yourself, the knowledge that you have within yourself, your guides. You need to recognize that there's a reason you clicked on this video and you're looking for guidance in this sense. You are starting the ghost dance around this decision. But what's holding you back in being able to stay and fight is the fact that this most recent, where you got effed over, right? Where you really got handed a hard set of cards, where you were really, that deception, it feels like you're just so angry about it. That's what's holding you back from being able to actually make this choice to stay and to fight. And if the choice, or if your question right now is, do I stay in this job or do I go look for another one? Clearly the answer right now is, even though it comes with its challenges, maybe it's not the money that you were hoping for. Maybe it's not the work-life balance that you dream about. It's clear that there are lessons that you are meant to learn in this challenge right now, in this hard time. And it won't always be this way. And you can lean on the people in your world. There are people who are waiting for you to ask them for help. There are people who are waiting to be able to support you. So it's not going to be an easy path, but you have to let go of this anger. You have to incorporate forgiveness. You have to let go of that anger in order to move on and in order to fight for this. And so let's see, what are the lessons that are waiting for you? Why is this so hard? Like, what's the purpose, right? Is what's the motivation that's going to keep us in this fight, right? What are we learning? Yeah, see, there's that answer to death, right? Okay. So it seems like you are absolutely learning. You're learning how to heal. And it feels like you are learning how to partner with your intuition, right? We have these two go together so beautifully. This doesn't feel like partnership with another person or a romantic partnership. I'm not getting anything here about romance necessarily. This is about partnering with yourself. So if your question here is, do you stay in a relationship? The answer is yes, but you need to ground yourself. You need to recognize that there is opportunity for a whole new phase of life to start here. And you need to recognize that you are in the power to be able to heal yourself. Because we can't sit in denial of how incredible this challenge and the opportunity that sits in this challenge is, okay? You absolutely are strong enough. You are absolutely strong enough, and you are capable of partnering with yourself in this way and accessing that inner wisdom. You are definitely capable of accessing that inner wisdom. Let's take a look at the way. So we're going to throw some action cards and see about the exact concrete ways that you can partner with yourself here. What are the ways that you can partner with yourself so that staying and taking these lessons is worth it? Okay, and I don't read these cards. These ones reverse. So let's flip these guys. All right, so we have 3 very clear actions that you can take here. We have release your shame. This card, this card brings in a factor to the deception that you have recently experienced of if you are sitting in shame and regret around things that you could have done differently in order to make sure that this didn't happen. If you are sitting in worry that you didn't do enough, that you didn't see it coming, anything there, you need to absolutely release that. That is not serving you. Let that go. Because you aren't meant to be experiencing this challenging moment right now. You absolutely are. The other invitation and action that you can take right now is about your community. This is again about being able to lean on someone, right? Where we just had the horse here that was, delegating authority and being able to ask for help. Hug someone, connect with the people around you. There are people who are waiting to support you. They just need to be asked. They just need to be asked. So ask for that support. And the best way for you to partner with that inner wisdom, partner with that spiritual side of yourself is to take a deep breath. Be in the moment, slow down, and be grateful. Within that breath, allow gratitude to fill you up. It is not possible to be grateful and to worry at the same time. It is not possible. If you truly allow gratitude to fill you up, and it can be the simplest things, right? It can be, I'm grateful that I have my family with me, or I am grateful that I still have this roof over my head, or I'm grateful that I got a good night's sleep last night, or I'm grateful for the water that I'm drinking. It can be so, so simple, so simple. But if you sit in gratitude and you take that deep breath, you cannot experience worry at the same time. And that is powerful. Okay, group 2. So, yeah, the answer here is to stay. It's going to be rough. It is going to be, you are definitely going to learn some lessons here, but it'll be worth your time. And let me see if I can get a bit of a timeline up for you guys, okay? Because I know you're probably saying, I don't want this to be hard forever. And it's not going to be hard forever. So let's take a look at this year. What does this year feel like? Is this challenge going to continue through 2025? So you're going to have a bit of that struggle through 2025. Let's look at 2026. There you go. Okay. You've 6 months to push through. 6 months to push through, communicate with yourself. Allow that, again, this is the main thing. We have ghost dance, dancing. There's joy in dancing. This is not a heavy partnership, right? There is joy in the ghost dance. It is a intense dance where you're connecting with your deeper self, but there is joy there because it's not a ghost walk. It is a ghost dance, right? There's supposed to be joy. There is supposed to be fun and light and laughter and play because this is a beautiful partnership. There's a beautiful partnership waiting for you. You need to start talking to that side of yourself because there is wisdom and beauty there. And so this year, the rest of this year feels like it's all going to be about figuring out how to partner with that side of yourself and then break through into 2026. Beautiful joy. It won't feel as hard. Breakthroughs are going to happen and you're going to say, wow, I'm so glad I chose to stay and I chose to fight. All right, group 2. So yeah, you've got this. You are fully capable. All right. You are fully capable. Make sure that you click to the very end of this video because I'll pull 3 cards and they will be very concrete yes or no answers to 3 questions. It could be any questions that you have. Sit with those 3 questions and then skip to the end of the video because you will find yes or no answers to these 3 questions that you have. Hello, group 3. You chose the Marigold, our beautiful yellow Marigold here. This is our 3rd card And for our question today, we are asking, should we continue to fight and stay, or is it time to move on and let go? So let's see what you got. So your anchor card here is the Child. I do love this card. The first thing that's coming through for me with the Child is yes, you should stay. We're asking today, do you stay and fight, or is it time to walk away? The Child says yes, but you need to bring in more light, more innocent play, more adventure, more creativity into this. Let's see what else comes forward. Simple answer is yes, stay. But let's see what else is waiting for you. All right. All right. So I love how these all tie together. This is beautiful. Yeah, definitely stay. It is worth staying. There is so much potential here. Definitely stay. We have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is all about, it's like you are so determined to make this work. The Knight of Pentacles is all about being very rigid, very structured, very dedicated. uh it's like you think about like a type A person who has everything organized, answers for everything, right? Very, very like overly planning everything. And it seems like, especially since we got the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, paired with the invitation that the Child has, you got to calm down. Like, you will not have every answer here. You will not be able to figure out every single little detail. And that's okay. That has to be okay. Because if you are so focused on having every single answer, you're missing out on the joy of life. And that's exactly what we see here with the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is all about experiencing this beautiful present moment that you have. It's all about family. It's about enjoying the beautiful side of our emotions. It's about being grateful for what we're surrounded by. Look at this beautiful family on this card. They are so enamored and in awe with that gorgeous baby, and all they don't want anything. They want for nothing. They are just enamored by how beautiful life is. And it seems like this is reverse. You guys got reverse for all of these. You are not taking the time to enjoy the present moment, and you're missing things. And that's why you're sitting here asking this question, do I stay or do I go? Because it feels like you're lacking. But if you slow down and look around, you'll realize you're surrounded by abundance. And this also ties so well into the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is a signal of new beginnings. It's a signal of new love. It is this beautiful, beautiful, it's known as the Cupid card. And this is not to say that new love is the answer. This is to say you have new love with you right now. This is an incredible, incredible reminder that there is love and joy and everything sitting in your world right now. Okay, so let's see what other clarification we can get here. Let me ask, why have you not been able to just fall into the energy of the Child, the innocence and the beauty of just being able to sit and enjoy what life has to offer? Because I feel it, you're surrounded by so much abundance, but what has that block been? What has that block been? Yeah, okay. Let's do one more. Okay. Wow. So okay, yes, there have been some challenges. Life has been crazy. It does not feel like you've been able to feel grounded or settled in a long time. Well, that would explain it. That'll explain why you aren't able to just enjoy the moment. You have all this beauty around you, all this abundance and love and happiness around you, but you're not able to sit in the joy of it because there's work to do, right? It's always so much easier said than done. You clearly are like in your prime right now when it comes to the other areas of your life. Like if you're right now asking, do I stay or do I go within your career, then it really feels like your love and your marriage and your family is solid and you have so much joy there. If you're asking right now, do I stay or do I go in this relationship? Then it feels like you're feeling pretty solid in your career and your job, and you've been really focused there. It really feels like whatever is flowing easily right now has been your focus, has been your taking up all of your time. And that also feels very tied to this Knight of Pentacles energy, right? To the rigidity that you have there. And what we're seeing here is you need balance. So if we take a look at both the serpent and the high priestess. The high priestess is all about your connection to your intuition. It's about being an expert within your field. It's about um, being calculated and being intuitive, and the balance there. She's all about balance. The serpent also ties into this energy of knowledge and also healing, but there's an ability to shed your skin here and to move on, because you need to incorporate, with both of these being in reverse, you need to incorporate more of this balance into your life, because you can't be all about this. You can't have your whole world be all about whatever is thriving right now and ignoring what feels like it's lacking, because then you're just going to have that tunnel vision and so focused on, and just be so focused on what isn't working, right? Yeah. And don't overthink it, right? The wind fairy brings in this aspect of, yes, you're very comfortable in your logic, you're very comfortable, the wind fairy and the Knight of Pentacles, same energy, right? You are very comfortable in this intellectual space. But you know who doesn't thrive in the intellectual space? The innocence of the child, the playfulness of the child. There is so much brilliance that sits within the child, but it does not sit in the intellectual side. That comes later, right? With experience and with but you need to embrace the playfulness that sits there within the child. So what is clear here, let me see. Yeah. Okay. What is clear here is you have done enough. The stag reminds us that you have been a leader. You can be proud of what you have done, and your success will continue if you step back. And if you don't allow whatever the part of your world is that has been thriving, it may seem like this is the only part of your world that is thriving right now, right? That I have this one thing that's going so great, and you just become so focused and honed in on it. Let that be. It will continue to thrive, because this other part of your world that you're wondering, do I fight or do I move on, needs your focus, needs your attention. And don't go into it thinking, oh, I'm so tired because I've been focusing so much on this one thing. The focus that you need to give to this other part of your world is not the same kind of intellectual, tiring focus. It is play, it is fun, it is joy. That's the kind of focus that is needed right now, is the joyful side of it, is the yeah, the simple innocence of a child. Think about how long a young child takes to figure out one little task, right? How long does a young child take to figure out how to stack blocks? And are they stressed or worried about it? No. They're sitting in simple content, simple peace, right? The Ten of Cups here is all about peace. You're not worrying. There's so much peace sitting within this card. And I know it's going to be challenging for you to let go of the Knight of Pentacles energy It is going to be so challenging for you to not overthink it and just to sit in that peace. But that is what you so desperately need in order to stay. That is definitely what you need. So let's take a look at our action cards here in the way that you're going to engage with this child energy, because I think you need some help. And that's okay. We all have our strengths. But I think it feels like you may need some guiding, some like very concrete ways that you can do this. Okay. Oh, this one's sticking out. We'll do one more. Okay. Yeah. So this first one, it's very, very clear. Let me see if I can kind of balance this out a little bit. Okay. Be kind to yourself. This is not necessarily going to come easily to you, and that is okay. That is okay. It may take you time to perfect, or that's funny that that word is coming to mind. Don't strive for perfection here, right? It is okay to fumble, to have moments when you kind of relapse and go back, and have moments when you say, oh, I'm actually being able to sit in the moment and not worry. It's beautiful. But be kind to yourself through this process. Give yourself grace. You're learning. And it's beautiful that you're here and that you're learning. That's the significant part here. And release any shame attached to the fact that you haven't done this yet. And if you're sitting here going, duh, wow, this is so simple and straightforward. Why didn't I see it before? Stop that. Stop that thought. Cancel it. Release that shame. You do not need, that is not going to help you embrace this energy here. If you're sitting in shame saying, if it's this easy, why didn't I see it before? Okay, let that go. When in doubt, if you are having a hard time figuring out what to do next, or how do I embrace the child energy next, stop planning, take a deep breath, remind yourself that it's not that complicated. When in doubt, it is much simpler than you think. And if you're not sure what to do next, express your love. Sit in this energy, in this beautiful, beautiful energy. And once you sit in that 10 of Cups, beautiful energy, then you'll recognize, wow, falling back in love is incredible. And so if you're asking, do I stay in this job? And the answer is then this is your answer, right? To stay, but to do it in a playful, childlike way. Then go back to why you got into the job in the first place, right? Think about, how do I find that simple joy that I once had in this job? Think about what intrigued you, what got you so excited early on before it got so heavy and complicated and life got hard. If your question is, do I stay in this relationship? Plan really simple, light, fun, nostalgic date nights, right? You're a planner. That may be one way for you to incorporate your planning into this childlike energy, right? There's ways that you can do this where the transition is graceful, and you don't have to go 100% right away, right? You can be kind to yourself through this. All right, group 3. Yeah, the answer is stay. In our question, do you stay or do you go? The answer is stay. But do so playfully. You can't keep all this heavy energy. Bring in that play, all right? Bring in that play. And light and fun and passion and peace. Oh, I'm excited for you all. Good. Okay. All right, everyone. Hi. Thank you for jumping back in. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I hope it provided you with some needed answers. And I wanted to just provide a little more clarity and guidance. So if there's anything that came up and saying, well, what about this? Or Or should I act now? Or, whatever these questions are that came up after your reading, go ahead and hold them in your mind's eye. We'll start with the first one. We're going to do a very clear cut here. So hold your first question in your mind. And this is your yes or no. Okay. So the answer is yes. It's a grounded yes for your first question. All right. Now shift into your second question. Hold it in your mind's eye. Shift into that second question. Second question, yes or no? Yes. Very powerful yes. All right. And now let's focus on your third question. Hold that third question in your mind's eye. Oh, that one was a little sticky. Third question in your mind's eye. Yes or no? Yes. All right. We got 3 yeses. Wonderful. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for being here today. Stay tuned for the next video, and I am sending you all so much love.